Hello AP Stats students, cumulative practice test number 3 coming at you, question 18. These questions are frequent on the multiple choice and frequently missed on the multiple choice. Understanding of what we mean when we say 96% confidence. So we have 96% confidence interval for the proportion of the labor force that's unemployed is that amount. So we'd interpret that we are 96% confident that the true proportion is between 0.07 and 0.1, or the level would be 96% of the intervals that are made with this method in repeated sampling will capture the unknown parameter, or the unknown proportion of people who are unemployed. So the main idea is this. If this is our true parameter, that's our proportion, true population proportion who are unemployed, unimp, we'll call it. Before I collect my sample, there's this 96% chance that I have. Then we're going to capture this. However, once I've selected my sample and made my interval, here's a potential interval right there, that interval either does or does not capture the population proportion. So this interval, there's not a 96% chance that this interval captures because, look, it really did capture. That is now 100% that it captured. If we repeat and took a different random sample and constructed an interval from that random sample, once that interval is made, here's the interval, is there a 96% chance that this interval captures the parameter? No, because it missed. It's 0%. So in general, the thing to remember about confidence intervals is before you select the sample, there's this random process that's going to happen. So there's a 96% chance. But after you've selected the sample, there's no more randomness going on. It's basically before you flip a coin, it's 50-50, heads or tails. After you flip the coin and you're looking at it and it's heads, that is heads. There's no more probability. Now you have to pick it up and flip it again, and then you get a 50% chance again. But in sampling, once you've selected the sample, after you've selected the sample, you have either a 100% chance that you captured it, the parameter, or a 0% chance that you captured the parameter. So I think this one idea will help as we look at question 18. So let's check out the different answer options we have. Question A, or part A, says the probability is 0.96 that between 7 and 10% of the labor force is unemployed. Once this interval has been made, here it is right here, once we have that interval, it is no longer a probability of 0.96, but it's either 100% that it did capture, or it's 0% that it did not capture. So the answer is not A. Letter B says about 96% of the intervals constructed by this method will contain the true proportion. That is a delightful interpretation. That is the correct answer, B. But let's look at the other ones. The probability is 0.04 that less than 7% or more than 10% is unemployed. Again, once we have the interval, it's either that it did or it did not capture. This trying to use the complement is a nice idea. The complement of 96% is 4%, but that's not what we mean by 96% confidence. And finally, let's look at D and E. So C is not the answer. And then D and E, the true rate of unemployment lies within this interval 96% of the time. This makes it sound like the true rate is like jumping around, and sometimes it's in there and sometimes it's not. But once the interval is made, if that's my interval from 7 to 10, then this interval captured the parameter 100%. This interval did an excellent job. So this is a misunderstanding of what we mean by 96% confidence. So the answer is not D. And between 7 and 10% of the labor force is unemployed 96% of the time. That's probably the worst of all the answer options. The confidence interval doesn't tell us like what percentage of the time something is going to be happening. So E is not the answer. So this basic idea that before I've made the interval, there's a 96% chance of capturing, but after the interval is made, it's either 100% that it has captured or 0% that it has not captured. Thanks for watching this video.